This is exactly right.
This episode is supported by FX's The Shards, a seductive drama from executive producer Ryan Murphy.
Set in 1980s Los Angeles, the series follows a group of glamorous, deeply entangled high school seniors drawn into a life of wealth, beauty, parties, and excess.
At its center is Brett, whose reality begins to unravel when the arrival of a new student coincides with a series of mysterious murders. FX's The Shards, now streaming on Hulu.
Goodbye. Everyone loves the idea of spending an afternoon curled up with a good book.
Well, grow up, because it's almost impossible.
Luckily, you can take your next great story with you on Audible.
Audible has a massive selection of titles to choose from, including This American Life, new books by Michael Connelly, along with classics from Agatha Christie, and so much more.
Whether you want a mystery, a true crime story, or something completely different, there's always something new to listen to.
New members can start listening with a 30-day free trial at audible.com/MFM.
Audible, stories that speak to you.
Goodbye. Summer is for adventures, road trips, and adding a whole lot of miles to your car.
That's why it's worth stopping at Valvoline Instant Oil Change first.
Their trained techs help you get road trip ready with an oil change and an 18-point maintenance check included with every oil change, checking your tire pressure, wipers, lights, and more.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change techs complete over 270 hours of training, so your car's in capable hands.
Best part? You can stay in your car and you're in and out in about 15 minutes.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Change wisely.
Goodbye.
Hello.
And welcome
To My Favorite Murder.
That's Georgia Hardstark.
That's Karen Kilgariff.
And we're about to podcast for you.
It's happening. You're in it. We're in it. We're in it together.
Are you nervous at all, Georgia?
Me, always. Little sweat, little sweaty. Yeah.
Just a standing anxiety.
Oh, yeah. Before we went on stage once, you said to me, anxiety and excitement feel the same. And it kind of is the same. So whenever that happens now, and I get what I think is like nervous, it's like this, pretend it's excitement.
Yeah.
Instead, and it works. It works.
Yeah. That's an old trick someone taught me. But that also is like, if only it was that easy all the time. Like the other day I was having a bad day, quote unquote. And I got home and I was like, man, and I was kind of like, should I put everything down and cry, sit on the couch and cry like a weirdo? Should I do this? Should I do that? And then I was like, when's the last time I ate protein? And then again.
It's always protein. It's either protein or you're tired.
Yeah. But it's like, if there was someone, and I'm sure it was like probably my therapist or someone, was like, there's a couple little emergency steps that you should have if you're in one of those pockets where you're like, there are steps you can take that because you're just always assuming, well, everything's normal, and yet I'm being so weird. And it's like, no, what if everything's not normal? What if you didn't eat breakfast or lunch and now you think the world is ending?
Well, it's called, there's an acronym, and everyone's yelling at who's listening right now. That's like, dads, like, did you eat? And what about sleep? I'm making this one up, but like, it's one of those things where it's like food, rest, sad. Are you sad? Are you just sad? Or
are you sad? Did your dad abandon you? Is your dad an asshole? But it's dads.
Dads. Yay. Speaking of therapy, since we're already on the subject, I'm listening to a book as I fall asleep at night lately because it's really calming. My sister recommended it. It's called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. It's like a famous classic self-help book. I'm really trying to use it in my everyday life. It's essentially like, be here now. Right now is the only thing that actually exists. So everything else that you're manifesting or remembering or worrying about doesn't exist. And you have to, and you have now. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, essentially, right? Like,
yes.
It's a long book. So it's more than that. But I'm trying to do it. Be here now.
And are you listening to it? Can you hear him talking? Because he has a great voice for relaxation.
Beautiful, relaxing voice. I'm falling asleep to it. So the stuff that I do hear resonates. The stuff that I don't hear is hopefully still getting into those juicy...
It's way in there.
Gray matter.
The juiciest part of your brain.
And I say juicy because
because you love the sweatpants.
Yes, that's me. My therapist, we have laughed from the beginning about how she uses the word juicy to describe like good feelings, those good, juicy feelings, and I just think it's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. And I've told her. So anyways, today I was talking to her in therapy and she just said this one thing to me that I was like, oh, I have to write that down. It was, you don't need to borrow worry from the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like that hit me so hard. I know it's like a saying, but the way she said it was so casual.
Yep.
Like it's still going to be there and you can have, you have it right now. You don't need more. You don't need to take it from then because it'll be there when you need it.
Don't go looking for it. It's when my sister said, not my monkeys, not my circus.
Yes.
Which is, I think, a Polish saying or it's a cultural saying, but I can't remember who said it. But that one's a great one.
That's a great
it's just
one.
Like, you can't always. You just have to put it down sometimes.
That one, how about put out the fire instead of chasing the arsonist or something like that?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
That's not right, but it's like something like that where it's like, why are you chasing the arsonist while your house is burning down?
Yeah.
I don't really get that right now, but yeah. It resonates with someone,
Absolutely. No, I think it makes sense. I think anything that somebody came up with in good faith, because the first step was they were trying to do something for their own personal like insanity. And so it often makes sense because you're like, oh, it's usually coming from a person that's like, hey, I've been there, dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
Like apparently Eckhart Tolle, whatever his name is, sat on a public bench for like 3 years. Like he just dipped from society and was like, I am now going to have this trip out thing of actually practicing. I think it's like radical presence or something.
That makes sense. Yeah. And it goes along too with the thing I have trouble with, which is feeling my feelings.
The worst.
So like, it sucks. It's like, can I intellectualize them away? I'd rather fucking do that. But
yeah, feeling feelings is disgusting.
It is. It's hard and it's stupid and it feels bad. And it's like dangerous for some people in certain circumstances, or it feels dangerous,
Feels dangerous.
It feels dangerous. So yeah, but if I feel them now, then I don't have to deal with their fucking aftermath later.
Right. And usually it's like, this is definitely a TikTok I saw where it's like the average feeling, it lasts 90 seconds. So if you literally just sit there and wait it out, you just don't give it any more or less, but you just kind of go, we'll let it be here and not do anything about it. It won't go on for more than like 2 minutes.
Mine lasts 15 years, like minimum.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. You have a different kind.
No,
What's
I mean like
kind?
I hold them real tight. Don't let it out for 15 fucking years. And then it's like, oh.
It's you going like, I don't cry.
I don't cry.
I don't cry. All right. Well, I got new lip liner. So that's my... Ilya is now making a crayon large size lip liner, which is my favorite.
Love those.
Right?
Yeah. Extreme accuracy with those fucking things.
Yeah. I need to be able to put on lipstick in the car. So can you please not give me an old fashioned tube of lipstick, but something that I'm going to be able to put in the right spot.
I don't own a lipstick that I can't put on blind. You know what I mean? Like, because then I'll look ridiculous. Yeah, I can't do two-step stuff anymore. I just picture my mom after we're at a nice restaurant and she takes out her compact and takes out her lips. It's such a Janet Nordstrom beauty section in the 80s mom move of at the table, which is fine. I don't care, but it's like that her putting on her lipstick perfectly triggers me. Can't do it. I mean, for sure, this reminds me of some of our earliest conversations where it's like moms and lipstick. If you had moms of a certain age, lipstick was as important as health insurance to a lot of those people. It's just like, put on a little lipstick. You should put on some lipstick, sweetheart. You look like a ghost. You look dead. I have a show and that's it. What do you have? Let's hear it. Okay. I bet you've watched it or you're going to say, I'm about to watch it. It's called Bodkin on Netflix. I started it. Yeah. It's really good. We finished it last night. You like the whole thing? It ended in a way that was clear they were making room for season 2. So it didn't answer some things, which kind of annoyed me. But it stars Will Forte and then Siobhan Cullen, Robin Cara, and then David Wilmot, who's the redheaded Irish guy you've seen in everything ever, who's looks so fucking great with a beard, I must say. But Will Forte is a true crime podcaster. Oh my God. Yeah. Who goes to Ireland, a small town in Ireland to try to solve this disappearance. That's essentially what it's about. But It's fucking cool.
Oh, good. Will Forte is truly one of my favorite performers, just in general, like in acting, a very compelling actor, but of course, truly one of the funniest people. And in real life, happy to tell you, one of the kindest. I don't know him well, but every time I've ever been somewhere, he's like completely been like, hi, how are you? What's going on?
Oh my God.
The real deal type of guy.
Yeah. Vince made a joke about that. He should have done the whole show as MacGruber, and that would have just like sent it to a different fucking level. It was just MacGruber meets. It does remind me of Bad Sisters, like the dark humor, solving a murder, fast forward, or past issues, who done it kind of a thing, which was such a great show. Right. So yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Okay. I'm definitely going to watch it. My Aunt Mary, the nun, actually recommended Bodkin to me.
There is Irish nuns in it.
Right? She loves anything that reflects her world.
She liked it?
Yo, yeah.
They were bad guys. The nuns are bad guys in it, though. So.
Yeah, I think she's aware of that. She's aware of that reality.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, lip liner. That's my only rec.
That's your recommendation?
Ilia lip liner, but don't buy too many so that I can't have them.
Oh, no. They're all going to go out of stock now.
Oh my God.
Oh, no, you're such an influencer.
Don't.
Okay.
Let's influence people to listen to all the other shows on our network. What do you think?
Yeah. We have some fun stuff coming up, you guys, that we're going to tease and tell you about and then not totally tell you about.
That's right. I mean, for example, on This Podcast Will Kill You this week, Aaron and Aaron are doing an episode all about maggots.
Ugh.
And their role in medicine. So you might want to listen to that if that's the kind of thing you can stomach. I absolutely want to listen to it.
I get so much joy hearing what they're talking about every week because it's like, yes, I didn't know I fucking wanted to hear about that.
Right.
Amazing. And this week, comedian Johnny Pemberton, oh my God, he's so funny, joins Bridger on I Said No Gifts. Curly Velasquez is Roz's guest on Ghosted, and there's a ladies-only episode of Lady to Lady.
Meeting in the ladies. You can't sing, Karen. Okay, are you following My Favorite Murder on Instagram and TikTok? Please do so, because we've started making videos. We think you're going to like them. If you like our show, you might like them. For example, every Saturday, you'll either get an episode of Sinkhole Saturdays with me, or Get Ready with Cookie and Georgia, where Georgia's dog picks out outfits with her.
I feel like we picked, like they were like, you guys have to do more. And we're like, okay, fine, we'll do more. But it has to be things we're into. And then it's like, okay, fine. How about sinkholes and vintage clothing? And we're like, okay.
Fine then.
Fine. It's really, I'm really happy with where our things turned out. So
I'm really happy. Although my niece Nora retweeted one of my own Sinkhole Saturdays into my feed. And so I was in my little fantasy world of TikTok, and all of a sudden I was looking at myself making a Sinkhole Saturday. I was like, what is happening?
No. It's like putting on it's like accidentally turning the camera on and it's on selfie mode.
Yes, exactly.
And in episode 422, back in April, we had a conversation about tote bags, which inspired our newest line of merch. Remember, we were like, we're tote bag people. Martarinas are tote bag people. So now there's a t-shirt, tank top, and tote bag that reads, My Favorite Murder, in the style of the traditional thank you bags you get with takeout. So go to exactlyrightstore.com. I think this is my favorite new merch we have up.
It's really cool. It was such a good idea. Was it Erin Brown's idea? Because
probably.
Man, she's good.
She is.
Yeah, it's a real, you'll see it. You'll recognize the design when you see it.
Know.
It's a good one. Oh, last thing for the loyal listeners. Would you please go over to Apple Podcast and give us a review? I know we've asked you before.
Oh, yeah.
But if you've never thought to do it, it's right there in your podcast app. It's near you right now. You just look down and hit as many stars as you think this incredibly compelling first 15 minutes was for you.
The right piece of furniture can completely change your room.
And your life. It's amazing what one good couch can do for morale.
And that's why there's Article.
Article makes it effortless to create a stylish, long-lasting home at an unbeatable price.
They take great care in curating their collection, focusing on pieces that stand the test of time. There's no filler. Every item is chosen for its craftsmanship, design, and lasting value.
And with Article's 30-day satisfaction guarantee, you can shop with confidence, knowing that if you're not completely in love with your new furniture, you can easily return it.
I recently needed to replace my old outdoor dining room table and chairs, so of course I went straight to Article. They have the Sarik outdoor dining set. I got it in khaki green. It's such a cute, like minty green. It looks so good in my backyard. I can't wait to have alfresco dinners all summer. You know, we can carve pumpkins on it in fall. It's so beautiful. Article knocked out of the park once again.
Article's offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
To claim, visit article.com/murder and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout.
That's article.com/murder for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
Goodbye.
Some flavors will always make you smile.
And with Kachava's new cinnamon French toast flavor, you can enjoy the taste of your favorite childhood breakfast without the sugar crash.
Kachava is an all-in-one nutrition shake that comes in so many delicious flavors, including the brand new cinnamon French toast.
It's made with real cinnamon bark for the richest, deepest, most authentic flavor.
And just 2 scoops provide complete nutrition your body craves with protein, fiber, greens, and so much more.
Kachava provides clean nutrition to fuel wherever your day takes you. No fillers, no nonsense. Okay, the Exactly Right Media office has all become obsessed with Kachava because they keep sending us these amazing boxes of all the flavors, and everyone kind of fights over it now. So we got this new flavor in, and I mean, there was like a line to try it. It's pretty great.
We're real believers in the whole Kachava line, so treat yourself to a childhood favorite.
Go to Kachava.com and use code MFM for 15% off your first order.
That's Kachava, KACHAVA.com, code MFM. Go to Kachava.com and use code MFM for 15% off your first order.
Goodbye.
Bye. Capture your favorite summer feeling with Pandora Jewelry.
Discover a collection inspired by the sunshine, freedom, and unforgettable moments that make the season so special.
Whether you're planning a weekend getaway, gathering with friends, or simply soaking up every sunny day, Pandora Jewelry offers meaningful pieces designed to celebrate your unique story.
From sun-kissed metals that catch the light beautifully to personalized pieces ready to be engraved with your summer mantra, every detail is crafted to help you express yourself with confidence and style.
Explore charms, bracelets, rings, necklaces, and more, thoughtfully designed to complement every adventure and occasion.
Each design moves with you, from beach days and road trips to rooftop dinners, golden nights, and every memory in between.
Layer your favorite looks, mark life's meaningful moments, and create lasting reminders of a season you'll never want to forget.
Find the pieces that reflect who you are and where this summer takes you.
Shop Pandora Jewelry's new summer collection in-store or online at pandora.net and let your summer unfold.
Goodbye.
Oh, you go first this week.
Okay, I'm first, as you just said, with a fucking pretty wild story, especially one of those that you're like, how have I never heard that?
Can I really quick ask you a question before you start?
Yeah.
Are you wearing a scarf?
I'm wearing a scarf and glasses that don't work. I got a lot of injections today.
I'm so sorry. I was just like, I'm so hot right now. And I'm like, is she wearing a scarf?
Yeah, I got some injections in my face today and I'm trying to be. So I'm dressing like Carmen Sandiego to try to hide my all the things. Look at this. Look at my eyes.
I'm so sorry. I somehow have this sense of what exactly not to ask about. I just was like, is that a scarf? What's going on?
I don't mind that question. I was so scared when you were like slowing down. Like, you know, I don't have any secrets. And then you're like, can I ask you a question? I'm like, oh, no, no.
How about this one that you don't realize you have that I know about?
I just got injections in my face. And you can leave that all in because transparency.
And we'll call this the confrontation episode.
The no gatekeeping episode. #influencer.
#scarf and glasses.
I look stupid. I look worse with the glasses and scarf on than I would with just the...
No, you don't. It's cute. But when we join each other to do this week after week for 8 years, scarf and glasses has never come into it.
Okay. I'm taking the glasses off now. All right. Crazy ass fucking story. It's super wild. It involves the underworld, a crooked lawyer, and a deathbed confession.
Ooh.
It's one of the most notorious crimes in Florida's history, often referred to as Florida's crime of the century, but last century. This is the story of the 1955 murders of Judge Curtis Chillingworth and his wife, Marjorie.
Oh, this sounds familiar. I think I know this, yeah.
I mean, it's super twisty-turny, and the main source I used for this story is a very in-depth podcast series called Chillingworth about the entire case. It was made by 2 filmmakers who grew up in the community this murder happened in. Their parents knew the victims. They interview a ton of people involved in the case, which is crazy since it happened in 1955. They use old, like, newsreel footage. It's a great podcast, Chillingworth. And the rest of the sources can be found in the show notes. So it's 8 a.m. on Wednesday, June 15th, 1955. A contractor named Frank Ebersole is walking up to the beach house of some of his regular clients, Judge Curtis Chillingworth and his wife, Marjorie Chillingworth. Judge Chillingworth is the senior judge of Florida's 15th Judicial District, which is Palm Beach County. And at the time, this is like small town, Southern, old-timey era. So he's one of I think it's 3 or 4 judges. It's not like a huge district. Kind of small. It's small towny for sure. And so the contractor, Frank, built the judge's beach house in Manalapan, Florida, which is like a little beach town. And he is back to fix a broken window. Totally normal day. But when Frank gets to the house, he can tell something's wrong. No one answers the front door. It's 8 a.m. The judge should be almost up and at work at this point, as usual. The floodlight on the porch is broken. The door is unlocked. So Frank lets himself in, and neither the judge nor Marjorie are in the house. Their beds, it's 2 twin beds because it's the 1950s, are empty and have been slept in but not made, which again is, rare. So Frank calls the judge's chambers, but his secretary says he's not there. And ordinarily, the judge would already be working. He has a 9 a.m. hearing scheduled for that day. So it is immediately weird that he's not at home or at the office. Judge Chillingworth is known for being a stickler for the rules and ruthlessly punctual, but fair and sympathetic. He's known for his integrity and for often ruling in favor of women in divorces. He's just a very fair, honest, straightforward, not corrupt judge.
One of the good guys.
One of the good guys. He's also known for treating Black defendants fairly, which is no small thing in 1955 Florida.
Right.
And both of these factors mean that there are people in Palm Beach County who don't like him. But the general public opinion is very respectful towards him. And he's an older man. He's in his 50s. He's, getting towards retirement. So let me tell you about him. Curtis Eugene Chillingworth is born in 1896 in the newly incorporated city of West Palm Beach, Florida. The Chillingworth family has deep roots in the Palm Beach area. His grandfather is the first mayor of West Palm Beach, and his father is a successful lawyer. Judge Chillingworth goes to the University of Florida, studies law, graduates early. And by the time he's 24, he's elected circuit court judge, the youngest judge in Florida history.
Wow.
24. Remember what we were doing when we were 24?
Yeah.
Jack shit.
Not good.
No. Judge Chillingworth and Marjorie, who is 2 years younger, get married. They have 3 daughters. From what it seems, they have a beautiful, happy, normal life. In the 1950s, Florida experiences a population boom, and this is because of a few factors. It's after the war, and there's a general population boom everywhere. Veterans who had been stationed in Florida move their families back there for the nice weather and beautiful nature. And crucially, air conditioning becomes more mainstream.
It makes all the difference.
It's so fascinating. Before air conditioning, everyone was like, I'm not moving there. And then it happened. And you're like, great.
I wonder the impact, if they've studied the impact of air conditioning on the population of Florida.
Florida and Arizona. Yeah. I bet it's wild. So this population boom comes with a boom in organized crime, your favorite kind of.
Oh.
Which, as you'd expect, Judge Chillingworth has zero tolerance for. So in June of 1955, Judge Chillingworth is planning to retire in a few months, and he and his wife Marjorie have tickets on a around-the-world cruise in 1955. Can you imagine?
Yeah, good stuff.
In the meantime, the couple is about to host their 3 daughters and their son-in-law and their grandchildren at the beach house in Manalapan. Manalapan is a small town. It's just this little barrier island just south of Palm Beach. It's a little reclusive. What's the word? Is that right? Kind of sits on its own. It's got
Isolated?
Isolated. Thank you so much. And it's home to a lot of lavish mansions. The Chillingsworth place is more of a simple beach cottage where they like to go.
Yeah.
So after Frank the contractor calls Judge Chillingworth's chambers, things move quickly. About 100 police officers and sheriff deputies descend on the beach house, which, you think about it, is an enormous amount.
Insane.
Yeah. And he's a judge. It's obvious that that's what's going on, but that's too many people. They cordon off the place, and they're really good with forensics and make sure no one touches anything. Just kidding. They fucking trample over everything.
What year is it now?
55.
Yeah.
But I think even for that period, it's like egregious. There's like newsreel footage of them panning through the living room at the time. And there's a cop sitting in their dining room drinking a soda, like a bottle of soda, like on the day it happened. So it's just like, smoking their cigarettes. Like it's just
crazy.
Yeah. So Marjorie's purse is found containing $40. It rules out robbery. There are small drops of blood on the steps that lead down to the beach and on some wooden beams in the ground, which serve as a path through the sea oats growing on the dunes between the beach and the house. So it looks like someone was bleeding while they were walking towards the beach from the beach house. There's blood on the sand too. 2 partially used rolls of duct tape are recovered from the porch, but there's pretty much no system put in place to preserve evidence. People, as I said, stump all over the house, all over the deck, all over the stairs, down to the beach, all over the sand. So no footprints can be recognized. No additional evidence is found, and a $15,250 reward is offered for information that leads to an arrest.
That's a very specific number.
That's a lot of money. I think, let's just say it's 15 grand. In today's money, that would be...
Would it be $15,000 in the 50s? $300,000?
1780. $178,000. Does that make sense? $178,000.
Oh, guess.
Oh my God.
Well, that's still for information or for, that's a ton of money for that.
And I think it shows like the panic and how terrifying this was, because if this well-respected professional judge goes missing and his wife, like there's something bigger going on. It's probably not, just a robbery or that they were randomly selected. Like some shit is going on, Yeah. And I think it made the whole community and the whole, law enforcement and judicial community really fucking scared that they were next.
Yeah.
And it did become like international news pretty quickly, which didn't happen a lot in the 50s. So despite the lack of evidence, people who keep a close eye on the Palm Beach County justice system are pretty quickly suspicious of a man named Judge Joe Peel. Joe Peel, this is our guy, is a lawyer. He's in private practice as well as the Palm Beach County magistrate, which is an elected judge in charge of hearing certain types of municipal cases. So he's kind of this good-looking, like, man about town. He and his wife are often seen out and about together. He's kind of a big shot. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And in 1955, when the Chillingworths go missing, he's 31 years old, and he makes it no secret that he has political ambitions. His ultimate goal is to become governor of Florida. So in Joe's work as an attorney, he winds up specializing in areas that affect the bar and hospitality industry, like liquor licenses, which he's not like Judge Chillingworth. It gives him an opportunity to make a little extra money on the side, and work with some unscrupulous people. This leads to him having a lot of underworld contacts, since obviously restaurants and bars are so closely linked with organized crime, racketeering, bookmaking, and illegal gambling, which was huge in this area at the time. The other thing about Joe is that he seems to have a lot of money for an independent lawyer and part-time city employee. Like he does divorce cases, but he seems very wealthy. He lives in a big house. He has 2 cars, one of which has air conditioning, which is big shot time. It's rumored that he has a deal with the illegal gambling rings, and people are pretty sure that racketeers pay him to tip them off because he, as the magistrate, is in charge of signing search warrants before police raids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he signs them, calls them, says, guess what I just signed?
Guess what I just did?
Yeah. So he's making a lot of money. And Joe's life intersects with our very moral Judge Chillingworth's a lot. They're both judges in the same community, of course, but 2 years earlier in 1953, Joe had to appear before Judge Chillingworth for an ethical violation. Our corrupt lawyer, Joe, had represented both the husband and wife in a divorce case he was arguing, which, like, I'm not a lawyer. You're not a lawyer. We know you shouldn't. That's just, you can't do that.
It seems inappropriate to me.
Yeah. So like right off the bat, it's just like he makes really dumb decisions.
Yeah.
And then retaliates.
Sorry, is he a lawyer? He's also a judge, or he's just a lawyer?
He's a lawyer as his career. He's an elected official, which means he has some judge like duties. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's not like, he wouldn't like sit in and be a judge on your trial or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So his main job is he's still a lawyer.
Yeah. So Judge Chillingworth, he goes before Judge Chillingworth, and Judge Chillingworth reprimands him. But citing Joe's relative youth and inexperience, he issues a 2-month suspension from practicing law. So he kind of gives him just a little slap on the wrist. Mm-hmm. It's a very lenient sentence for this. Joe could have been disbarred for this. But Judge Chillingworth does say, don't let me see you in here again. Like, next time, I'm not going to be so lenient with you. But in 1955, before the Chillingworths go missing, Joe gets caught up in another professional misconduct issue. He had forgotten to finalize a client's divorce, so she had remarried, unwittingly committing bigamy.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So it's unlikely that Joe did this on purpose. It was just another dumb decision he made. It sounds like he wasn't taking his job too seriously. It's more likely that he was too distracted by all his racketeering to remember to file the paperwork, you know?
Sure.
So Joe's case, once again, is assigned to Judge Chillingworth, and he knows this time he won't get any more chances. So in the wake of Judge Chillingworth's disappearance, Joe's case is reassigned, and Joe gets what he wanted, another short suspension instead of disbarment. It worked. Whatever happened, worked. Mm-hmm. But the damage to his reputation is done. And even though he could continue with this warrant scheme he was doing, he actually resigns as a county magistrate not long after because of popular opinion was turned against him. He continues to represent clients, but not at a pace that explains his lifestyle. And he's no longer a magistrate. He's unable to collect bribes in return for warnings about raids. And so he starts a side gig as a booker with the help of a former client named Floyd Holtzapfel, who has a lot of connections in organized crime. So he teams up with a criminal he had represented before, and that's his like sidekick now.
That's his life as a retiree.
Yeah. So that's Joe and Floyd. But there's no direct evidence linking Joe Peel directly to the disappearance, or anyone else to the disappearance of the judge and his wife, until more than a year later. And all this crazy shit happens, and they talk about it on the podcast Chillingworth. It's some really fascinating stuff. So a year later, he's charged as an accessory in an attempted murder. So what happened was in December 1956, Joe is arrested along with Floyd, his sidekick, following an altercation at a club called the Chi-Chi Club in Florida in the 50s. Can you fucking picture it? The club's claim to fame is a dancer who would do her entire act as a mermaid submerged in a tank.
Great.
Yeah. So what happens is Joe brought a legal associate named Harold Gray to the club with him when it was closed. Harold Gray is just a normal guy. He's a lawyer. Like, he's not involved in all the underworld stuff. But Floyd is waiting inside the club, and Floyd attempts to bludgeon Harold to death with a leather mace. But shockingly, Harold survives, and as a bloodied mess runs out into the street. And at this point, Joe, who was standing idly by while Harold was being hit, an attempted murder was happening. Mm-hmm. Joe runs after him and tries to get him in a cab. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened." And he takes him to the hospital. So what had really happened was that Joe had taken out a $100,000 life insurance policy on this guy, Harold Gray, on his coworker.
Wow.
$100,000 life insurance policy by forging his name. And it also had a double indemnity clause that if he was murdered, he got more money, which how is that? Who thought of that?
I don't know, but it's a great movie. Have you ever seen Double Indemnity? It's really good.
It is.
And it all takes place on Sunset Boulevard.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite, oh, I know where that. Hey, look,
yes.
Moose on Franks.
Oh, I love that.
It's great.
So in today's money, $100,000 life insurance policy is equal to...
Well, if it was 15 before that got us up to 178, then $100,000. Do you think I could do this? Mm-hmm. $500,000?
No, close to $1 million.
Oh, shit.
So imagine taking out $1 million life insurance policy on an associate. What the fuck, right? But they did it. He makes really dumb moves.
Yeah. I wonder if it was like, did the guy not have a family? Was he like, they thought he would be easy to knock off? I mean,
I don't know, but they tried, Joe tried to get him killed twice, and this guy survived both of them. So,
oh my God,
he's got a lot of luck on his side.
Jeez.
Floyd and Joe are both charged, but they are acquitted of the attack after a mob-connected witness lies in the stand about having been present at the time of the attempted murder. So Floyd says that the reason he beat up Harold, yes, I beat up Harold, but it was because he insulted my wife. So that was like the story. They got away with it. Then in 1958, the body of another man involved in organized crime is found in a canal near an area called 20 Mile Bend. And this man is known to be connected to Floyd, and authorities quickly latch onto him, to Floyd, as a suspect. So with Joe and Floyd continually turning up like bad pennies in cases involving the West Palm Beach underworld, State Attorney Philip O'Connell, who had been suspicious from the beginning, decides to look into the possibility of them having been involved in the disappearance of Judge Curtis and Marjorie Chillingworth. But the problem here is that the bodies of the Chillingsworth have never been recovered. And in Florida, at least at the time, without a body, you can't prove that a murder has taken place unless 2 eyewitnesses attest to it. So they don't need a body, but they need at least 2 people who say that a murder took place.
Okay.
So the state attorney, Philip O'Connell, leads an investigation with the intention of turning Floyd and Joe against each other. So he makes a deal with the guy who was the crooked insurance agent from this plot of the life insurance policy against Harold Gray. The agent's name is James Yenzer. And James agrees to go undercover to get Floyd to admit his role in the murders of the Chillingsworth. They also recruit a bail bondsman named Jim Wilbur, who was another associate of Floyd and Joe's. So it turns out to be very easy to turn Floyd against Joe because Joe is already plotting to have Floyd killed.
Oh.
And the authorities were able to prove that to him. They're feuding about money from a different racket. This guy, James Yenzer, learns about it, relays it to the investigators, or like, you can use this, to get information. But Floyd had already skipped bail on a different charge and fled to Brazil. He calls Floyd in Brazil and tells him that he's seen Joe out with Floyd's wife, which immediately gets Floyd to fly back to Florida. That was like the trick.
Aww.
I know. In September of 1960, Jim and James meet up with Floyd in a motel in Melbourne, Florida, probably. The room is bugged. Law enforcement officers are next door recording their conversation on reel-to-reel tapes. And there's some of this reel-to-reel footage in the podcast as well. It's bananas.
Wow.
Yeah. The 3 men proceed to get totally shit-faced, and Floyd begins to talk and tell the story, not knowing the room is bugged, about old times. And Floyd proceeds to talk about the plot he helped Joe Peel to hatch to kill Judge Curtis and Marjorie Chillingsworth. So he just admits to the whole thing. He laughs about it as he describes what happened. It's so chilling.
Oh, man.
So here's what happened. As outsiders suspected, Joe Peel was worried that Judge Chillingworth was going to have him disbarred. He decided the only way to remain the county magistrate and realize his political objectives was to have him killed. So he fucked up, and then he is going to have someone killed to make his problems go away. I fucking hate these stories so much.
It's that classic sociopath move of like, well, this is my world. I just need to remove barriers and boundaries and get what I need. And
it's that, how do I get other people to solve the problems that I've made?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I fucking hate that.
Or how do I remove people to solve those problems or like damage people? It's Yeah.
Damage control using other people. You get it. So he hires Floyd and then this other man named Bobby Lincoln to do the killing for him. Bobby is a racketeer, but up until this point, he's entirely nonviolent. Bobby's family is fairly prominent in the Black community in nearby Riviera Beach, and a lot of the racketeering that they were getting money from was in the Black community. And so Bobby Lincoln was kind of their go-to in between these two worlds. So he had worked with them before. He's generally thought of as a criminal, but also a nice guy. He is not happy about the idea of killing the Chillingsworth, but he kind of feels like he has no choice because now he knows they're trying to kill this judge. He's the only other one who knows about it. Also, if Joe Peel is disbarred, his entire operation is fucked too. But so he's convinced he has no other choice but to go through with it or be killed himself because he's now a witness. So Joe will pay the men $2,500, which in today's money would be more than $29,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. On the night it happened, June 14th, 1955, Floyd and Bobby take a small boat south from nearby Riviera Beach to Menalpan. And at about midnight, they beach the boat behind the Chillingworth's beachfront house. They get out of the boat, and Bobby waits below the Chillingworth stairs from the beach while Floyd goes up to the house. So Floyd rings the doorbell. The judge answers the door in his pajamas. He had gotten out of bed. He was asleep. And Floyd's wearing a sea captain's hat, and he says that his boat has broken down offshore and that there are still passengers aboard. Can I use the phone to call the Coast Guard? And as soon as Judge Chillingworth lets him into the house to use the phone, Floyd pulls out a gun and tells him it's a robbery. Judge Chillingworth says his wife is in the house, and Floyd tells him to call her in there and thinking it's just a robbery. She comes out of the bedroom as well. And when Marjorie comes out, Floyd whistles down to Bobby. He comes up to the house. And the two men gag the Chillingworths with tape and then tie rope around each of their necks and run that rope down their backs and tie their wrists together. And then they start to walk them down to the beach in their pajamas. It's so sad and must have been so terrifying because I think them saying this is a robbery is meant to disarm them a little. It's almost like let them do what they need to do and they'll leave.
Right.
But I think pretty quickly they realize it's not what it's about. So once outside, Marjorie's gag comes loose, and so she screams, and Floyd pistol whips her with the .38 he's holding, and she bleeds on the steps and the path over the sea oats. So that's the blood drops they had found. They make their way out in the boat into the water. When they're about 3 miles offshore, Floyd cuts the engine, and Floyd and Bobby put weighted belts around the Chillingworth's waist. Judge Chillingworth turns to his wife of like 30 years and says, quote, "Honey, remember, I love you."
Oh, it's horrible.
And she says, quote, "I love you too." Like they kind of knew they were going to die at this point.
Yeah.
Then Floyd says, quote, "Ladies first," and throws her overboard. And she sinks immediately. The judge doesn't wait to be thrown in. He jumps in after her.
Oh.
But even with his weighted belt and with his hands tied, he's able to tread water. So Floyd hits him over the head with a shotgun and then wraps a spare anchor around his neck, and he sinks.
Jesus.
I know. So back to current day, the investigators now have their taped confession from that drunken conversation in the hotel room. And by this point, Bobby, who was one of the murderers, has already been convicted of moonshining. He's serving a 3-year sentence. And so he makes a deal and testifies that he participated in the killings after being hired by Joe. And so he's granted immunity from the killings. The tapes from the motel are actually inadmissible, but Floyd makes an official full confession and he pleads guilty to murder. Now the state has the 2 eyewitnesses. It needs to charge Joe in the absence of a body, which is just kind of crazy if you think of it. The 2 murderers are the witnesses against Joe,
I mean, it makes sense.
It makes sense, but it just sounds so like a deal with the devil,
Yeah, that's what it all is.
It is.
Right? There's no, I mean, this is as dirty business as it possibly could be.
So dirty.
And that idea of like, if there's a double murder, chances are the only people that would have witnessed it that are still alive are the murderers or the murderer.
Absolutely.
At least they can get them on that.
Right. So Florida's trial of the century begins in March of 1961, almost 6 years after the murders. So Bobby is the star witness, and he's brought twice from prison in Tallahassee to testify. Joe takes the stand on his own defense and admits to plotting to have Floyd killed, but insists he had nothing to do with the Chillingworth murder. And his alibi was that he was at home that night watching the brand new TV show, The $64,000 Question. That was the first night it was on. So he was like, here's what happened in that. And it couldn't have been me because I wouldn't have known these details about the TV show. But he's found guilty of being an accessory to murder and is given 2 life sentences. Floyd is sentenced to death row, but his sentence is ultimately commuted and he dies in prison. Joe maintains his innocence the entire time he's in prison and is paroled in 1982 due to illness. Then he makes a deathbed confession, not to a loved one, but to the Miami Herald. He says, quote, "I'm guilty of not using my influence to stop what was going to happen, and I could," end quote. And it's crazy because the reason they killed this couple, this innocent couple, is so that Joe Peel could stay a magistrate and continue their racket with the warrants. And immediately he had to quit that position because of, like, he had to quit it anyways. He would have, either way he was fucked, but this way he fucking took two innocent people.
Yeah.
And killed them.
And also that deathbed confession sucks. It's just not, it's like, oh, I should have told them not to. It's like you hired them to do it and it was your plan.
Yeah. So he's essentially saying, like, I should have done something, but I didn't. And in reality, it's like, it was all you.
Yeah. These two guys just murder a very specific prominent couple that totally benefits you. And you're just saying, oh, I wish I had done something more to keep them from doing it.
Yeah. Right. He dies 9 days later at the age of 58, the same age Judge Chillingworth was when he and his wife were murdered. And that is the story of the murder of Judge Curtis Chillingworth and his beloved wife, Marjorie Chillingworth.
Of all the terrible, terrible stories we've told each other, what a sad moment for that couple. Basically knowing they're being killed and knowing their loved one is being killed, and that's just the worst.
And their three daughters who had to live with that knowledge for the rest. Like, I just can't even imagine. Yeah. And this fucking creep who orchestrated the whole thing. I mean, he's slime. He's terrible.
It's
tragic. It's tragic.
Well, good job.
Thank you. I've already said listen to Chillingworth podcast, but there's so many little details in it, and it's such a time and a place. It's just so fascinating.
You're right.
Yeah.
Pre-air conditioning Florida, post-air conditioning Florida.
Right.
Get there. Capture your favorite summer feeling with Pandora Jewelry.
Discover a collection inspired by the sunshine, freedom, and unforgettable moments that make the season so special.
Whether you're planning a weekend getaway, gathering with friends, or simply soaking up every sunny day, Pandora Jewelry offers meaningful pieces designed to celebrate your unique story.
From sun-kissed metals that catch the light beautifully to personalized pieces ready to be engraved with your summer mantra, every detail is crafted to help you express yourself with confidence and style.
Explore charms, bracelets, rings, necklaces, and more, thoughtfully designed to complement every adventure and occasion.
Each design moves with you, from beach days and road trips to rooftop dinners, golden nights, and every memory in between.
Layer your favorite looks, mark life's meaningful moments, and create lasting reminders of a season you'll never want to forget.
Find the pieces that reflect who you are and where this summer takes you.
Shop Pandora Jewelry's new summer collection in-store or online at pandora.net and let your summer unfold.
Goodbye. This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace.
Every successful small business starts with someone saying, I wonder if people would actually buy this.
Squarespace gives you everything you need to find out.
From consultations to events and experiences, you can showcase your skills with a customizable website designed to attract clients and grow your business.
With Squarespace's collection of cutting-edge design tools, anyone can build a beautiful, professional online presence that perfectly fits their brand or business.
Get paid on time with professional invoices and online payments. Plus, streamline your workflow with built-in appointment scheduling and email marketing tools.
Head to squarespace.com/murder for a free trial.
And when you're ready to launch, use offer code MURDER to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Goodbye.
Buying clothes is easy. That's why everyone's always doing it.
But finding clothes you actually want to wear is the hard part.
Get all your favorite elevated essentials at Quince.
Quince specializes in effortless, high-quality essentials like ultra-soft organic cotton and premium Mongolian cashmere sweaters. They're beautifully tailored and built to last. And it's not just apparel. Quince also brings that same everyday elevation to everything they offer, from hotel-quality bedding and bath to kitchen staples, essentials, and thoughtfully designed furniture.
They work directly with ethical factories, so you're paying for quality quality, not brand markup.
It's so true that they have wonderful items that aren't just clothes. I have like 3 of their 100% mulberry silk pillowcases. I've bought throws from there. I've bought bedding from there. And it is just as great quality as their clothes and super affordable.
Upgrade your everyday.
Download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers or go to quince.com/MFM. Get free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
Now available in Canada and the UK too.
QUINCE.com/MFM.
Goodbye. This is also a terrible story, but different.
Okay.
And it includes a little list of things that I definitely like. I think you like some of these things. It starts back in 1986 when Bob and Pauline Walker, who are a couple that live in England, hear that the Antiques Roadshow is coming to town.
Ooh.
Do you like the Antiques Roadshow? I love it, personally.
I love the Antiques Roadshow. You know, my mom and John went to one of their tapings once.
Did they bring anything?
They brought something, but I didn't get,
Yeah.
wasn't a big deal.
It's such a good idea. British television, that is to me one of the great examples of like British television feels like it's always trying to get something done.
Yeah.
You're not just going to be entertained. You're also going to learn how to bake, or you're going to this, or
Right.
you're going to, right?
Right.
And that one is like, there's so many things that are so satisfying. You learn about art and artistic stuff
And history.
and antiques.
Yeah.
But then you're also like, money.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's a slow burn, but it's a great payoff.
Yeah. So if you don't know what we're talking about, basically, just to let you know, the show, Antiques Roadshow, travels to different towns all around England. This is when it started. Now they do it in America, perhaps other countries. So basically people kind of show up at a local like convention center or town meeting hall or whatever with all different kinds of art that they have in their family, whether it's been handed down or they bought it for $2 at the Goodwill or whatever. So at the Antiques Roadshow, they have some of the foremost experts on all of these different, so it'll be like on woodwork, on Chinese etchings from the, this or that period.
Tiffany lamps and jewelry and
Yes. And so it's people that when the items are brought to these people, they know what it is like when they see it. So they're excited. There's a lot of great tension and excitement where people are explaining either I've never seen anything like this before. And they're pointing at things with what looks like a little chopstick. That's my favorite when they're like, if you look at this over here, you look at this over here.
I love that.
Or they say, this is a reproduction, and you feel all of the energy just run out of the scene. So
How much did you pay for this? Because it's fucking worthless.
it's worthless.
Yeah.
$2 was too much.
Yeah.
So when the Walkers hear the Antiques Roadshow is coming to town, they remember they have this old painting that's been sitting basically in one of those cardboard tubes up in the attic. It had been passed down for 2 generations in the family, and it shows a group of men sitting around a desert campfire at night. The moon is visible through a break in the clouds. There's horses nearby. It's clearly the work of a talented artist, but the Walkers have never known what to do with it. It's not really their style. They appreciate its artistry. They don't know anything about its backstory. No one in the family's ever really talked about it. So it just currently sits out of sight upstairs.
Treasure.
Until this day where they're like, Antiques Roadshow's here. So the shooting location is actually set up along the path where they walk their dog. So they go, well, if we're going to walk the dog anyway, let's grab that tube, walk it down there and see what they say. So to the couple's shock, they not only get onto the show, but an expert tells them that this painting is from 1845 and it's called The Halt in the Desert. And it is in fact, quote, an international treasure, a lost picture. So it's the best case scenario for Antiques Roadshow is that you actually have a true treasure that the experts think is a treasure. But the background of this artwork and the artist who made it involves illness, murder, indisputable artistic genius, mental illness, and all set against the backdrop of Victorian England.
Wow. Great start. That was
Yay.
Chef's kiss.
Right?
I'm in.
I was like, when I think this was Maren's pitch, I don't know, whoever pitched this was like, Karen likes this, this, and this. And now we just found this story.
Gorgeous.
It's very, very compelling. So there's a book called The Symbolism of Richard Dadd by Peter Ogwyn Jones. There's also a book called The Late Richard Dadd, 1817 to 1886 by Patricia Aldridge. And there's also a 2015 Guardian article by Jonathan Jones called Artist Richard Dadd Was Set Free by Fairies. And the rest of the sources are in our show notes. So Richard Dadd is born in 1817 in Chatham, England, around 30 miles from London. He is the fourth of 7 children in what is obviously a bustling household. Of course, this is an era like early 1800s where people are destitute, but the Dadds are actually doing well. Robert Dadd, who is Richard's father, is a well-known and well-liked pharmacist in the community. So the Dadd children are well-fed, they are cultured, they're well-educated, and it's while Richard is off at school that he learns his love for painting. So in 1837, the father, Robert, decides to sell his pharmacy and move the family to London. And historian Patricia Aldridge thinks this might have been motivated by Richard's obvious artistic talents. But either way, it's a great move for Richard. He's now in his late teens, and he gets to go to the prestigious Royal Academy in London. Pretty cool. So Richard's advanced artistic skill set and great personality quickly make him a popular student. One of his peers describes him this way, quote, "Dad was my superior in all respects. He drew infinitely better than I did. I can truly say from a thorough knowledge of Dad's character that a nobler being and one more free from the common failings of humanity never breathed."
Wow.
So he's a person who's adored.
Yeah.
Before long, he's winning all sorts of awards. He starts getting commissions to create paintings and illustrations for various clients. And then in 1842, Richard, who's now 25, gets the opportunity of a lifetime. A very rich lawyer and politician named Sir Thomas Phillips is looking to hire an artist to accompany him as he travels through Europe to Egypt to sketch the various cities and towns they stop in along the way. Because obviously portable cameras aren't a thing yet.
Yeah.
So basically he wants to hire an artist who will create vacation pictures for him.
Holy shit.
Right? Richie Rich. So Richard wants this job. He loves the idea of seeing the world and making art at the same time. It is like a dream come true. And in this era, a trip to Egypt is a hot ticket, as you probably remember.
I bet, yeah.
Because of Napoleon's military expeditions to Egypt in the late 1700s and early 1800s, and the subsequent cracking of the mystery of the Rosetta Stone, which helped historians decipher ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, a surge of interest in Egypt, or Egyptomania, sweeps Western Europe. So Georgia talked about this in episode 351, High Five Halloween, if you want to go back.
I was just thinking about that. I did mummies, right?
Yes, the mummy trade.
The mummy trade. Oh my God, it's so funny.
This Egyptomania got so bad, ladies and gentlemen, and listeners of all types, that they started eating the mummies' bodies. Yeah. It's total insanity. So, but it pops up everywhere, especially in England, particularly in literature, design, and of course in art. The British Museum had lots of stolen artifacts. Do they still have them today? I believe they still do have them today. Egypt also becomes a popular destination for rich travelers like Sir Thomas Phillips, as well as artists and writers in search of adventure and inspiration. Richard is offered this gig. He eagerly accepts it. He gets the job of his lifetime. And my sister's friend Adrian's son actually husband went to Egypt like a year or two ago. And I was like, please send me pictures. I really would love to go there and I'd really love to see it. And I was thinking about this because of the way this story ends up going. It is such an unbelievable thing, like those temples and the pyramids and everything, the places that they go to that are like the King's Row. That's not what it's called. It's like a Pharaoh's.
Yeah.
Pharaoh's Alley. I don't know.
I know what you're
I just
about.
made that up. But they're huge. It's like you're walking in a thing that's like 50 feet high, but it has etchings on the ceiling and on the...
It's so ancient.
So ancient. Such an exposure to like a whole new different world, and it's right there.
Yeah.
So the influence, I would imagine that it would have an incredible influence at that time on people who, like, the furthest they ever went was London, or,
Yeah, for sure.
And Richard is writing letters back home as he Marjorie and Sir Thomas Phillips travel across Western Europe into Greece, through Turkey, then Syria, finally into Egypt. Wow. And he's talking about his experiences in these letters all along the way. He describes the music he hears that the street musicians play, describes the animals and trees that he's seeing that are so different than the ones back home. And he talks about the dazzling dresses that local women wear.
And the lack of air conditioning that's not been invented yet.
And he's like, bitch, it's hot.
Wow. That sounds incredible.
But as writer Peter Ogwyn Jones points out in the book, The Symbolism of Richard Dad, these letters that he writes home also suggest that Richard is struggling with his mental health. He starts writing about his, quote, nervous depression and, quote, miserable days. In one letter, Richard says, quote, the excitement of these scenes has been enough to turn the brain, and often I have lain down at night with my imagination so full of wild vagaries that I have really and truly doubted my own sanity. I'm very tired of the world, and I've seen so much disgusting selfishness since leaving England that I have become half a misanthrope.
Ooh.
End quote.
So he sees some reality of what's going on and how much bigger it all is. And he's overwhelmed and disappointed in humanity.
Yeah. And also he's mentally ill. So the lens through which he is looking at humanity is off.
Yeah.
It's like, it's one thing if you are the artist that's going along with the rich guy and you're getting depressed or whatever. I'm sure it's like that's expected. But then his behavior begins to change drastically. As the pair travel up the Nile River, the normally mild-mannered artist is erratic and delusional. Richard develops an obsession with the Egyptian gods, especially Osiris, the king of the dead and the ruler of the afterlife. And he begins to believe that he is under Osiris's control.
Oh, dear.
So it's now current day thought Richard was probably experiencing psychosis brought on by schizophrenia. But at the time, of course, no one understands what's happening to him. At first, they actually think he has sunstroke. But then his behavior gets stranger and more hostile on the return trip back to England. And by the time they get to Paris, Sir Thomas Phillips is like done with Richard. Richard also stopped doing his job, is not drawing pictures for him anymore. He seems completely unmotivated. Instead of turning in travel sketches, Richard's either making just half-hearted drawings that aren't even as good as how good he is. It's just like whatever. Or he's handing in very intricate, detailed work of Sir Thomas Phillips as an evil person.
Oh, God, what did he see? What did he see? You know?
Right? And it's not like, I just have seen enough, like, whether it's Agatha Christie or it's like, I just think that the pyramids and all that stuff is so compelling and fascinating. Yeah. But it also makes sense where it's just like, this is a world where everybody believed in all these gods and they were a part of every day and you had to do this and you had to do that. I'm literally describing modern life.
Culture shock, it sounds like he kind of had.
Right. One sketch that he draws actually shows Phillips, quote, playing cards with the captain of a steamer for the captain's soul. Ooh. So it's like Phillips is the devil.
Yeah.
So when Sir Thomas Phillips urges Richard to see a doctor, Richard decides he will part ways with Phillips and just go back to London by himself. And when he gets there, all the people who know him are shocked because Richard would never abandon a job. It's not like him at all, especially one that he was so excited to get. And Richard's social circle is even more confused when they interact with him. Here's a quote from Patricia Aldridge. She says, quote, his actions became unpredictable and occasionally violent, and he seemed to believe that he was being watched. Once he rushed away alone while a friend prepared to accompany him home. Another time he shut himself in his room and waved a knife under the door at visitors. He is said to have cut a birthmark from his forehead, saying it was planted there by the devil. He obviously saw and heard things which did not exist. And though he did not speak much of this, he let slip to a close friend that he was haunted by evil spirits and he himself was searching for the devil. He began to believe in his own mission to rid the whole world of the devil, and intertwined amongst many vague and confused ideas, there was a strong element of Egyptian mythology. So people begin to withdraw from Richard's life, but his father Robert actually notices what's going on. He understands his son needs help, probably because Richard is not the only member of the Dad family who struggles with his mental health. 3 of Richard's siblings will be treated for mental illness in their lives, and one of his brothers was actually admitted to an asylum the year that Richard left on the trip with Sir Thomas Phillips, which is so tragic. And that poor father who was like, what is going on, trying to help his children. And it's so sad. So Robert obviously wants to help his son. So he meets with doctors at London area hospitals and asylums to figure out what Richard needs and try to get him that help. But these efforts don't really seem to go anywhere. And meanwhile, Richard settles into a rented room in London and basically just becomes a recluse. And while he is there, according to Ogwyn Jones, Richard lives on a, quote, diet of beer and raw eggs. And his wardrobe was filled with bowls of eggs.
Ooh.
So Richard, of course, increasingly, he's just completely isolated. And Robert is there trying to watch over his son. For a while, they seem to maintain a good relationship. But then Richard learns that his dad is trying to get him hospitalized. So Richard invites his dad on a trip to the small village of Cobham, and the father, Robert, thinking nothing of it, agrees to go. And once they're there, they book a room at the Crown Inn. They have a nice dinner at a nearby restaurant, and then they head out for an evening walk. No one knows exactly what happened on that walk, but the next morning, a passerby finds Robert's dead body lying in a field. He's been stabbed to death, and there's a bloody knife in the grass close by, and Richard is nowhere to be found.
Oh my God.
So by the time his father's body is being examined by a coroner, and suspicions are swirling that Richard is the murder suspect, Richard has fled the country and has gone to France. Then they find out that Richard planned all of that travel before heading to Cobham. He secured his passport.
Oh, no.
He planned his routes. He bought his train tickets all in advance. So that idea of like that he is in full psychosis or completely schizophrenic is like, well, he's actually aware enough to make that plan.
Premeditation,
Yeah. So Richard hops on a train to Marseille, and from there he decides he's going to head back down toward the Middle East so that he can basically fall off the grid entirely. But because he's going through an intense mental health crisis, while he's on the train, he attacks the man sleeping in the seat next to him with a razor. The other passengers jump in, pull Richard back as he slashes the stranger, and they restrain Richard. The conductor stops the train. Richard is placed under arrest. Sorry, the conductor doesn't stop the train. He's not, the engineer would stop the train. Sorry.
Someone stops the fucking train.
When the word of this attack travels to the conductor, the train stops. Richard's placed under arrest. He reportedly offers all the money he has. Like he basically, they say he kind of comes to, realizes what he's done, and then just says, here, you can have all the money that I have. He's taken off the train and escorted to the nearest magistrate's office. When he's in the courtroom, he doesn't hold back. The judge is reportedly taken aback by Richard's, quote, perfectly calm and collected manner as he admits to murdering his father and attacking the train passenger.
Wow.
But Richard's motive causes the most surprise because he claims that it wasn't his father he killed. He had actually murdered a demon that was disguised as his father because God told him to. He also admits to thinking about killing many times before, saying that while traveling through Italy with Sir Thomas Phillips, he had thought about murdering the Pope, but he abandoned that plan after seeing how tight security was at the Vatican.
Wow.
He also claims that while on a train in France, he had come up with the plan to murder the Emperor of Austria. When he was asked about the razor attack on the train, Richard says that from the moment he sat down in his seat, he started hearing voices that he needed to kill that person. He says that he felt tormented by these instructions, that he didn't want to kill the stranger, but that, quote, weary with the struggle, he resolved to leave the question to kill or not to kill to the stars, one of which, seen from the window, he knew to be Osiris. So basically, he told himself that if Osiris's star moved across the sky farther away from its neighboring star, then that would mean Osiris was telling him to leave the man alone. But if the star moved in the other direction, then Osiris was telling him to murder.
Oh my God.
And obviously the stars moved closer together.
Yeah.
So as English authorities put together an extradition order, Richard's confined to the Claremont Asylum in France, where his doctor, who, just as a sidebar, would go on to invent the iron lung.
Oh.
His doctor treats him with some questionable of-the-day methods like ice-cold showers. You know, there's the early mental health treatments were basically torture. I mean, like horrible, horrible things. It takes about a year until July of 1844. And then Richard is finally extradited back to England. He again winds up in front of the magistrate. His mental health has continued to deteriorate. His court appearance is a disaster. He reportedly enters the room laughing. Then when witnesses address the court, he repeatedly interrupts them as they testify, screaming that they're liars and screaming that he did not kill his father. But then when a doctor takes the stand and notes that Robert was stabbed twice, Richard yells, quote, "What? Does he say that the body was stabbed in 2 places? I only stabbed him once."
Whoa.
So, yeah. An employee from the Crown Inn then testifies that a towel had been taken from the room and was never found. And then the prosecution suggests that Richard might have used it to clean himself up after the murder. And again, Richard yells out to the court that he stole the towel and disposed of it because it was soaked with his father's blood. So in August of 1844, the trial comes to an end. Richard is found not guilty by reason of insanity, and he is sent to what's called the Criminal Lunatic Department at Bethlehem Hospital, which is known by its nickname, Bedlam. At the time of Richard's sentencing, the criminal wing at Bedlam is all dark. It has almost no windows. It's very overcrowded, tons of patients with nothing to do. It's not like they have activities or anything. They're just standing around screaming and moaning. So it is basically the epitome of chaos and confusion. And we don't really know the ins and outs of Richard's stay at this hospital. And we don't know if his treatment was humane there. We do know that Richard's doctor, Thomas Munro, recognizes Richard's artistic talent and encourages him to keep painting. So Richard pulls from his own imagination and begins to create complex ethereal scenes, which are the complete opposite of the dark, small, sterile world that he has been confined to. So during his stay at Bedlam, Richard produces some of his most famous work, including the Fairy Feller's Masterstroke, which is considered to be his masterpiece, even though it is unfinished. It is a painting full of details. There's no space wasted on the canvas. It shows a group of fairies in muted yellows, browns, and reds, watching as the fairy Feller wields an axe to split a huge chestnut. And Richard spends between 6 and 9 years working on this painting.
Wow.
And that's also when he creates The Halt in the Desert, which is the painting that the walkers bring to the Antiques Roadshow and have identified.
Wow.
And that painting actually features Sir Thomas and Dad himself, among others. They're the ones that are sitting around that campfire.
No way.
So that's one of the reasons why it's so priceless and considered a lost painting, because Richard Dad has actually painted himself into it.
Wow.
After 20 long years of confinement at Bedlam, Richard is transferred to another psychiatric facility, which is Broadmoor. We've talked about that place too.
Oh, sure.
And it's at Broadmoor that he completes his now famous Sketches to Illustrate the Passions series, in which he uses characters from Shakespeare plays to illustrate the different human emotions. He also creates a beautiful portrait of one of his doctors, Dr. Alexander Morrison, and that is now on display at the Scottish National Portrait Gallery.
Wow.
And then in January of 1886, at the age of 68, Richard Dad dies of tuberculosis at Broadmoor. He is buried on facility grounds. Because he killed his father, obviously, Richard's reputation in the art world was ruined. Mm-hmm. While he was still alive, a Victorian magazine called Art Union actually referred to him as, quote, the late Richard Dad. And that article said, quote, although the grave has not actually closed over him, he must be classed among the dead.
Damn.
Yeah. So basically, once he was convicted for his father's murder and for that attack, he himself and his artwork completely fade into obscurity. But then in the 1960s and 70s, a series of exhibitions reintroduced Richard Dadd's work to a new generation of admirers, which is like, how many things like that are there in history where it's just something that has been wildly misunderstood? So now in the 60s and 70s, people are told the full story of this was a person that had schizophrenia, that was in a full psychotic break. And so they basically can contextualize and sympathize with his mental health issues and, you know, the background. So Richard Dadd is now recognized as one of Britain's great Victorian artists, and his sketches and paintings are currently on display in renowned institutions like the Tate Gallery and the British Museum. Just as a kind of a full circle moment, the Walker family, who were on Antiques Roadshow with The Halt of the Desert, they were told that Halt in the Desert was worth around 100 to 125,000 pounds.
Wow.
And that's exactly what the British Museum paid them for it. There are more missing Richard Dadd pieces that are out there because he drew and painted so much at the asylums. So there could be more that people come forward with in the future. Richard Dadd's life has inspired countless essays, radio dramas, album covers, fictional characters, and popular novels. There was actually a Queen song called The Fairy Feller's Master Stroke, named after that painting. Jonathan Jones writes for The Guardian, quote, "Richard Dadd's art is beauty born from anguish. The artist's illness is unquestionable, and so I think is his particular genius. Yet it is no proof that creativity and mental illness are connected. This is just one extraordinary case. One thing doesn't always lead to another. Dadd's life was desolate. The art he made from it, in flight from it, is a joy." And that got me right at the end. That got me right at the end. And that's the story of Victorian artist Richard Dadd.
Wow. Fuck.
If your life is desolate, make art that enables you to flee from it.
Yeah. Or to feel the rest of what there is, to feel those feelings of life.
Yeah, that's right. Full circle.
That was beautiful.
Feel your feelings.
Feel your feelings is the point.
Feel your feelings. They're only 90 seconds long. Eat breakfast.
Definitely eat breakfast.
And don't mess around with the mafia. It isn't worth it. That you think you're going to get a bunch of money easy. The interest is overwhelmingly unpayable.
It is. Should we do, what are you even doing right now? Where you tell us what you're even doing while you're listening to My Favorite Murder.
Yeah. Everybody's been writing in and telling us what they do while they listen to this podcast.
We appreciate it.
Which we love so much.
So much.
This is from Instagram, and the person who wrote it in, their handle is I'm a disco spider.
Cute. I can see that because you know how spiders just sometimes stand with one leg up? I totally see it.
And a mirror ball above their head.
That's
they
right.
always do that. Okay, I'm a disco spider says to us, what are you even doing right now? I am at work as an engineer for a space exploration company in Colorado. We build space equipment contracts and are affiliated with NASA and Raytheon Intelligence in Space.
Oh my God.
I listen to your lovely voices while I watch testing and also on my 1-hour commute. I've loved the podcast since the beginning. Well, around episode 4. Love you guys. Oh my God.
Wow. Smarty Smart Pants listens to us.
A Smarty Smart Pants listens to this bullshit.
Successful Smarty Smart Pants.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And they're disco spider. That's how successful they are.
Thank you for introducing that image into my brain. I fucking love it there. Okay, mine just shows what a small world the Murderino community is, because last episode when I covered the Oakville blobs, we posted a photo on our Instagram of a sign that said "Welcome to Oakville," a picture of like the sign of it, right?
Sure.
So this person, Alex on the gram from Instagram, writes, "Oh shit, this is a great time to tell you what I'm even doing right now. I work for Frito-Lay and listen to MFM and other Exactly Right pods. Shout out Dinar.
Hey.
While keeping convenience stores in my area stocked Cheetos, Doritos, etc.
Nice.
And it says, as a former stoner, I see it truly as God's work. Then it says, the 76 picture in that picture of Oakville, so in the background of the Oakville sign is the 76, is one of the stores I work. Love you guys.
Hi.
Wild.
That's fun. That would freak me out because I never really think about that for other people. But like anytime Petaluma is in a lot of movies and TV shows because it's very kind of old looking or whatever. And it is the fun. I'm like, that's up the street from my piano teacher. Like it's always the most exciting thing.
It is.
I love
That's
it.
so crazy.
I love it.
I love it. We love you. You guys listen. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please, if you've gotten to this part, then please go write a quick review on Apple Podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe.
Yeah. If you've gotten to this part, here's your reward. Go do us a favor.
Do us a big favor.
Do us a favor. And also stay sexy.
And don't get murdered.
Goodbye.
Elvis, do you want a cookie?
This has been an Exactly Right production.
Our senior producer is Alejandra Keck.
Our managing producer is Hannah Kyle Creighton.
Our editor is Aristotle Acevedo.
This episode was mixed by Liana Squillaci.
Our researchers are Maren McClashin and Allie Elkin.
Email your hometowns to myfavoritemurder@gmail.com.
Follow the show on Instagram and Facebook at My Favorite Murder and Twitter at My Fave Murder. Goodbye. The best time to think about home security is before you need it.
That's exactly why they're Simply Safe.
Traditional home security only alerts you after a break-in has already happened, and that's too late. Simply Safe is changing that.
Simply Safe's US-based live agents identify threats on your property and help deter them so intruders never get to your house.
The system is customizable so you can build one that fits your home and your specific needs.
The 24/7 professional monitoring is effective and affordable and won't lock you into a long-term contract.
I think that's what's so scary for so many people is that long-term contract. And like, what if it turns out you don't like it or need it, but they don't have that because they know you'll like it and you'll know that you need it and feel so much safer when you have it. Like at this point in my life, I would never go without a security system on my house. I just feel safer with actually having Simply Safe around.
There's a whole staff at Simply Safe that's waiting to talk to you and help you out. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplysafe.com/MFM.
That's half off at simplysafe.com/MFM.
There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Goodbye. The kids are back in school. Now it's your turn to head back to the beach.
During Cheap Caribbean's Back to Beach sale, save $200 site-wide on vacation packages of 4 nights or more with code 200BEACH.
Trade school drop-offs for beach walks, lunch boxes for beach bars, and your daily routine for adults-only relaxation.
Use code 200BEACH and get more beach for less money.
Book your beach vacay today at cheapcaribbean.com. Goodbye.
Bye. There's always a point in the day when your feet decide they've had enough.
Luckily, there's Reef.
You may know Reef for their ridiculously comfortable sandals, but they aren't stopping there. The women's Neptune has everything you could ever want in a sneaker.
The Neptune is a lightweight, everyday slip-on shoe with a crush-back heel, so you can wear it traditionally or step on the heel and wear it like a slide.
Lightweight, breathable, and easy to wear, the Neptune is the everyday shoe your feet have been waiting for.
The Neptune makes me so freaking happy because my whole life I've been yelled at for crushing the heel of my foot. Because I want every shoe to be a slide, every shoe. And they actually make them that way. And it makes me so happy. Plus, they're super comfortable, they're light, and they're really cute.
So check out the Neptune on reef.com and redeem 15% off your first purchase.
Goodbye.